It's Mamoru Itsuki at -3 o'clock. We still don't know why these numbers are counted in negatives, but we will find out. This is the only mission we can do right now. Let us do it. It's Encounter. Mamoru has been startled by the red water, but we can't think about that. Right now we have to think about getting to Uryuga Forest with Traveling Companion. Like the first game, many of these objectives involve going somewhere. Find your way across the map. We learn basic moves like move and attack, and this is a tutorial level, so we will be getting many instructions.
This place? Yamijima Island?
Yep, we made it. So, left analog stick is move. Let's do that. Right analog stick lets us look around. There's a bird. Use alternative camera views, like this. You could do a first-person perspective as you play the game if you want. It's an option. Cross the bridge, head for the island. Alright, let's go. Jump. Jump! Jump. Proceed further into the island. Now we can bring up the map. There it is. Like in Siren 1, we have a map that, well, actually, this time it does show where we are. I think in Siren 1 it didn't actually show where you were on the map. This time we can see it. We are a blue cross on there. There are different levels, different elevations. I like this one. The Steps of Pain. Who would name it that? If you're going to call it that, maybe you should do some renovation work on the Steps of Pain. Check the map, go up the nearby stairs. Okay, so we need to find these stairs. The Stairs of Pain. It wants us to go up them. We can. We can also look around. Like, here's a broken ladder. Broken ladder cannot be climbed in this condition. Also, we do have the menu from Siren 1 that we can bring up. The only thing we can do is shout. No one around to hear us. So we're on Yomijima Island. Clearly people used to live here, and clearly no one lives here now. There's a door that's been busted down. We could go up these stairs, or through that door. You're going the wrong way. Go up the stairs. Let's not do that. Because we can look around. Who's going to stop us from looking around? Well, it's locked from the inside, so that is going to stop us from looking around. But we can keep going. We can keep doing this. Here's another door. We're going to open this. There we go. The reason I want to do that is because, hey, there's like a couple things over here. Let's pick these up. A discarded magazine. It's an archive item. Castori Weekly. And over here, something else. A leftover cup of noodles. This seems important. I should log this in my archive. Turtle Jelly Noodles has been added to the archive. Down here. Old wire screen. Looks sturdy enough. We can't do anything with that now. Maybe sometime later. Like in Siren 1, we will be going to these levels repeatedly. That's what it's about. You go to these different levels, well, the same levels, during different time periods. And you become more familiar with the environments each time you do. At first, you don't know where you're going or what you're doing, but you become very familiar with how these levels are laid out as you go on. Well, we see a man who maybe we need to avoid. We don't know who that is, but entering an enemy's detection area will trigger an alert vibration. This is different from the first game. If we get close to a Shibito, we'll hear this noise, and my controller will vibrate. Hold on, I'm going to put the controller on the microphone. I don't know if you heard that. It rattling against the microphone. So that means I'm close to a Shibito, which means dead person, or dead body. Turn off the flashlight so they don't see it. Let's do that. Move while crouching. This is also new for Siren 2. If I move while crouching, I do not make any sound. And now the Shibito is far enough away that we can turn this flashlight on. We can stand back up. Locked door over here. So that crouching walk, that's going to be something we'll use quite often in this game. Here's an instruction that isn't the clearest. Move to the right of the ladder and turn towards the building behind. I don't think that's worded very well, because what it wants you to do is turn around and look at that, and then jump. Jump. Face left, jump off the building. So, of course, the levels are not going to have this step-by-step instruction. This is just a tutorial level. Search the area around me for a weapon, because we don't have nothing right now. Actually, we should look at what we have. What's our inventory? We have an LED light. It's commonly used by news reporters, only news reporters. No one else uses this style of flashlight. And over here, this is a little brighter than everything else. We got a scantling. Now we need to go to the door to the materials warehouse. Let's take a look at this weapon we picked up. A small rectangular piece of wood that has fallen off of a building structure. It's a very weak weapon, but at least it's a weapon. It's something. With our weapon, we can break windows, which, again, new to Siren 2. Now, this door, it's locked. But you know what Mamoru says about that? That's what Mamoru says about that.
Hey, are you all right?
What? Where?
Are you hurt?
What is it?
I see what's going on. Stay here and keep hidden.
Well, we found a woman unconscious here on this abandoned island. That seems a little odd, but we can give commands to her, such as run or hide. And I'm going to bring the commands up. It's telling us to say wait, which would be good.
Please, help.
He's after her. Let's tell her to wait. So she's going to crouch down and not move from here. We're going to look around. Now this Shibito, he's not going to come after us. He's going to go after her. So we can prevent him from doing that by shouting, distracting him. He saw us. And now, it tells us, shake off the biting enemy. He's going to bite us. Just advance notice, just so you know. He's going to bite you. There we go. Shake him off. Alright, now let's hit him with our Scantling. Defeat the enemy. So if you didn't play Siren 1, Shibito don't really work like normal zombies. They're not infected by a disease or a virus or anything. So I got injured by being bitten, but that doesn't turn Mamoru into a Shibito or anything. Alright, now we have to head towards the goal. Also, she doesn't like our flashlight. If I shine the flashlight on her, she puts her hand up and tries to walk away from it. Just like a little thing to notice. Let's take a look. Okay, so there's the objective right there. It's that yellow arrow. Through this door the Shibito knocked over. In Siren 1, if someone died, they would become a Shibito, but it's not that you're just going to become one from being bitten. So we'll be fine. However, Shibito work in a slightly different way in Siren 2, as we'll see. But for right now, let's just get through here. You might have noticed a sound.
What was that noise?
That's a helicopter. I don't know if you can see it. There is a helicopter somewhere. Alright, let's try to get up this. Alright, Mamoru, big strong man, he's able to do that. Our traveling companion cannot. We have to help her up because she girl. That's just basically the reason. Siren 1 was the same way.
Could you give me a hand, please?
Pull up. You don't do this often. In Siren 1, this came up more often. But the start menu to help the other character like that doesn't come up often very much at all in this game. Let's, please, there we go. And mission accomplished.
Sergeant Okita! Okita! Please don't die!
As of 2136, there is a state of emergency. From now on, I will be commanding. Prepare to move out.
Yes, sir!
We've got the military on the scene. Let's take a look at the descriptions of the levels we just did. Here's Mamoru. Washed up on the pier, Mamoru regains his senses. His eyes catch the movement of a dark mass rushing away. Well, we did not see a dark mass. Maybe later. And over here, new character, Yurito Nagai. Takoyaki and Yorito barely survive the crash. Takoyaki urges Yorito, who is panicking as Hiroshi is dying, to escape. So, three army men, one of them's dying. They're trying to make their way somewhere. They were walking towards a Ferris wheel. Let's take a look at the characters we just saw in this past level. Here's Mamoru. It says that Mamoru is learning his trade at the mystery and science magazine Atlantis. At first glance, he appears to be a modern, cool-headed young man, but he is capable of taking decisive action when faced with adversity. He is visiting Yamijima alone to gather research for an article. Yes, when I first saw him, I thought he appears to be modern and cool-headed. The woman that we found, Yuri Kishida, the beautiful yet mysterious young woman, is rescued from the clutches of the Shibito, the dead, by Mamoru Itsuki. Yuri has a rather eccentric air about her that seems inappropriate for one so young, and her backgrounds and motives are difficult to discern. I don't know what that means. Why is being weird inappropriate for someone who's young? Apparently it is. She shouldn't be so weird. You're too young to be weird, Yuri. Too young. Let's take a look at the archive items that we picked up. All right, we got 3 new archive items. Number 14, Turtle Jelly Noodles. We got this because we inspected the dump as Mamoru. An instant noodles product released only in the Shikai region by Green Turtle Foods. The product, Turtle Jelly Noodle, featured an abundant amount of turtle jelly topping, claimed to be a miraculous ingredient for beauty enhancement. Advertised with the slogan, "Take off 10 years with just a single mouthful," the product was slated for a national release until it was plagued by a series of strange incidents wherein heavy consumers disappeared mumbling words to the effect of, "I want to go back to the sea." These incidents triggered a full recall and nearly resulted in the product's cancellation. Nearly? Huge losses brought about reduced production and a tainted brand image that forced the company to reconsider the product's nationwide release. However, to this day, there are several who think highly of the ultimate local snack. What's more, a shortage of the product has resulted in a heated shopping frenzy among beauty-conscious housewives. Well, I mean, it takes 10 years off in a single mouthful. It's miraculous. The television adverts featuring Naoko Mihama, the missing TV reporter during her early years as a pop idol, continues to enjoy limited airplay in certain areas. So I remember Naoko from the first game. She did a commercial for Turtle Jelly Noodles. Let's watch it now.
A relaxing moment. Spoil yourself. Collagen Infinity, a turtle jelly noodle from Green Turtle Foods.
There was nothing in that commercial about wanting to return to the sea. I don't know. Seems like that might be false advertising. All right, number 15 is Castori Weekly. We got this because we inspected the dump. Packed with news that you don't need to know. The news magazine that will drain your brain. The Castori Inquirer, number 139, published July 29th, 2005. At least it's honest about it. It's honest. Let's read. Special feature, The Curse of Yamijima Island, unveiling the mysteries surrounding Yamijima Island, the strange disappearance of the island residents, the severed undersea cable, the last voyage of the Bright Wind, Yamijima UMA sighting, an exclusive look at the forbidden island known as the Isle of Hate and the Island of the Dead. Presented in cooperation with the Urban Folklore Society, www.shibito.com. Shibito.com, you say? That was a website that we looked at back in the Siren 1 LP. Maybe we should take a look at it now. And there's one more archive item that we picked up, number 20. This was from Yorito. The requirement was crash landing on Yamijima Island. Onboard transmitter JARC S-40, wireless transmitter installed in ground self-defense force aircraft. Used for surface-to-air communications between aircraft and base, as well as air-to-air communications with other aircraft. Let's listen to the data.
This fog, the clouds, this is bad.
I can't trace anybody on the other end.
Well, of course, no land in sight.
Verifying current position. Where are we? Got no idea.
We have a situation, sir. How would you like to handle it?
This is an emergency. We'll just have to land wherever we can. I've got no communication. Nothing at all. Land! There's land up ahead. I'm taking us down.
Prepare for emergency landing.
Wait! You can't! No!
So we heard that helicopter flying overhead in Mamoru's level. It went down, it crashed, and, we saw the soldiers. What remained of them after the crash. It mentioned that one of those archive items mentioned that we should look at p.2.com. Maybe we should do that now. Give me a sec. I'm going to need to pull that up. All right. p.2.com doesn't exist anymore, but we can get to it through the Wayback Machine. The Urban Folklore Society is a website I believe that we took a look at in Siren 1, because this link right here, The Truth Behind the Hanuda Incident, was about that. I wonder if we can make this a little bigger. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's the stuff. That's a bit more legible. Yeah, so there's also an entry here, The Truth Behind XX Incident, and that's what we're going to look at right now. That's relevant to this game. The truth behind Yomijima Incident. Well, we just started Siren 2. It seems a little early for the truth, but let's see. I like to point out that this is not my first investigative attempt. Initially, my investigation of XX began almost 6 months ago. Although this investigation is sponsored by the Castori Weekly, I had previously set foot on the mysterious island of XX. But I had to keep my visits short due to bad weather conditions. This second undertaking was meant to redeem my first failed attempt. My second investigation yielded satisfactory results for both the magazine and myself. You can see for yourself by looking at the special edition of Castori Weekly, issue 139. Following the magazine's publication, I had intended to update this site. That's the magazine, right there. However, an email from the Castori's editor persuaded me not to do so. The contents of the mail were as follows. Mr. XX, the writer, is missing. Following his interview with you, he expressed a renewed interest in XX. He left for the island shortly before the magazine hit the stands. No one has heard from him since. He was last seen in the locale of XX Harbor. This is just between you and me, but I should add that a famed author has also been seen in the area and is now missing as well. Local authorities have combed the area for any signs of Mr. XX. To date, they remain unsuccessful in their search. Although this is not the first time that I've treaded dangerous ground, I've never had anything like this happen before. If only I hadn't taken Mr. XX to that island, all this would never have happened. I thought that making my report available here would result in others following in Mr. XX footsteps. As a result, I held off posting the findings from my investigation. But now, I think I may have been wrong. Perhaps it's my duty as an investigative reporter to warn others of the island's dark secrets. First, do not approach XX with anything but the strictest caution. I will not take any responsibility for any attempts to approach the island. This report is only for the eyes of those who agree to these conditions. The following is a report of my XX investigation. XX is an abandoned and isolated island in the Shikai region. The island earned its notoriety from 3 mysterious incidents. Mystery number 1, the overnight disappearance of the island's residents. Mystery number 2, undersea cable severed on the night of the disappearance. Mystery number 3, passenger ship Bright Wind vanished off the island's coast. In the 60s, XX was referred to as Japan's El Dorado, as it prospered from the mining efforts of the XX Gold Mining Company. With the recent events, it is now known as Japan's Bermuda Triangle. In the course of my investigation, I came across the following astounding fact. Using the name of the lost passenger ship Bright Wind as an anagram yielded the words wing birth in Japan. The 2 words translate into characters that can be read as Ha and Nu. Hanu was the name of the most influential family on XX. Coincidence? I might have thought so too, until I realized another fact. Hanumaru, the Bright Wind, was not the only ship lost in this island's vicinity. Prior to the incident, a fishing boat named Hanumaru was lost off the island's coastline. Of course, in order to get to the island, you must use a boat. Needless to say, I made it a point to check my ship's name before heading out to the island. You don't want the wrong name. There are some danger and problems invoked when approaching the island. I will not go into any details here and will not accept any inquiries. Little is known about the island and its inhabitants. Records indicate that the island was isolated from the outside world. This soon changed when XX Gold Mining began its island operations. Rumor has it that friction ensued between the islanders and the miners. With a massive tower extending from the island's center and the shores protected by a concrete breakwater barrier, XX looks like a strange fortress. Much of the island consists of facilities constructed by the mining company. However, there are remains of a small fishing village. The village serves as a grim reminder of the islanders' adherence to isolation. Oddly enough, the interior of the residences retained their original furnishings. In short, each house looks like the inhabitants simply vanished. Much of the old island scenery has been overrun by steel and concrete, but time has eroded both the old and new, leaving the island in ruins. With a camera in hand, I captured much of the island on film. Whilst preparing this report, I reviewed my photos. Upon seeing this photo, I recalled something in XX folklore, the existence of a corrupt being on XX Island called the Shirio. Undoubtedly, there's something that occupies the island, something dark that is likely to be the cause of the strange events. To be honest, I will never approach that cursed island again. I have no intention of becoming one of the missing people. Do you see it? Do you see that? You see that? It's right there. Haunted. It's right there. You can see it. So there's a couple things that we learned from this. One, Mr. XX, the writer, is missing. Well, we know that Mamoru is a writer. He's a reporter. Is that foreshadowing? Did Mamoru never return? I guess we'll find out. Also, something that we found out is the ship called the Bright Wind that vanished off the island's coast. And we also found out that this island was full of gold, and a company moved in and started building facilities to mine the gold, and they were at odds with the traditional fishermen villagers on the island. So that's kind of the backstory here that we're learning. So that is what we learned from p.2. As far as what we're going to do now, we're going to save a game. Actually, no, we're not, because I just went back to the title screen. Never mind. So, what we're going to do is take a break, and when we come back, we will be moving on to the next mission.